You know, when you picture Amish farming, a very specific image probably pops into your head, right? But today, we're going to dig a little deeper because there's such a fascinating and honestly, a pretty complex story waiting just beneath the surface.
And that really brings us to the core question of this whole explainer. I mean, while modern agriculture is racing towards more and more high-tech solutions, the Amish offer this totally different path, one that's been quietly working for centuries.
You know the image I'm talking about? The horse-drawn plows turning over the rich earth, those incredible farmers markets. It paints this picture of a simple life, one that's in perfect sync with nature. It's a really powerful, almost romantic idea, isn't it? And look, their work ethic is absolutely legendary. No doubt about it. But the success of Amish farming, it's not just about grit. It goes so much deeper than that. So, what's really going on in those fields?
Well, the truth is there isn't one single secret. Nope. Instead, what they have is this incredibly disciplined, interconnected system where every single piece works together. It's a whole philosophy, really, that they bring to life every single day.
And what's amazing is, this modern definition of sustainable agriculture, it fits the Amish approach perfectly. They were doing this stuff long before sustainability was even a buzzword, focusing on systems that are self-sufficient, just like nature.
And the absolute heart of their entire system comes down to one core belief. Soil isn't just dirt. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. You don't just take from it, you have to feed it, you have to nurture it, and you have to keep it healthy.
And you can see that philosophy right here, in action, composting. I mean, nothing is wasted. Kitchen scraps, manure, clippings, it all gets layered into these piles that heat up, break down, and become what they call black gold, a natural fertilizer that breathes life right back into the garden. It's genius.
You can see how their whole year just moves to this incredible rhythm of the seasons. It's this continuous cycle, right? From sowing oats in April all the way to making fresh apple cider in the crisp air of October. It's all done by hand with this amazing precision and timing.
And it's not just about timing, it is all about diversity. You're not going to find these huge, sprawling fields of just one crop here. No way. Instead, they use crop rotation to keep the soil healthy and throw pests off their game. They save heirloom seeds from their strongest plants, which builds tougher crops year after year. It's a whole system where everything from cover crops to companion plants work together.
Okay, so we've painted this really beautiful picture. But like with most things, that idyllic image, it's not the whole story. The reality of Amish life and farming is way more nuanced and, honestly, even more interesting.
And that leads us to a really important question, right? Are these practices universal? Is every single Amish farm a perfect little model of sustainable living? Well, as it turns out, the reality is not that simple.
So let's break down some of these myths. For instance, the idea that they're 100% organic, well, not always. Some do use chemical fertilizers. And this idea that they reject all technology? Far from it. Things like solar panels and diesel generators are actually pretty common. The biggest thing to remember here is that Amish communities are not a monolith. Their practices vary a lot.
And this quote from some researchers at the College of Worcester, man, it really helps explain why. For many Amish, the guiding principle isn't what we might think of as modern creation care theology. It's often a more practical belief that the earth is a resource given to them to be used for their community's benefit.
So what this all means is that their decisions, what tech to use, which farming methods to adopt, are often guided by what's practical, what's traditional, and the specific rules of their local community. It's not some universal environmental code they're all following.
So what can we take away from all this? Well, the great news is you don't need a horse and a plow to start using some of this amazing time-tested wisdom in your own garden.
All right, let's dive into some quick tips that are just brilliant. Crushed eggshells? They're not just for compost. They add calcium, and their sharp edges keep slugs away. And here's one I love. Plant your rows running north to south. It's such a simple change, but it means every plant gets its fair share of sunlight throughout the day. It's these little things that make a huge difference.
Okay, let's talk tomatoes for a second, because this is a great one. When you're picking seedlings, go for the ones with sturdy stems, not necessarily the tallest ones. Add some compost, and now this is the key part, bury the stem deep, right up to its first leaves. Why? Because tomatoes can actually grow roots all along that buried stem, which creates a much stronger, more resilient plant. And hey, the wisdom doesn't just stop at the harvest, right? The Amish are absolute masters of preservation. We're talking canning, fermenting, root cellaring. All of these techniques mean they get to enjoy their harvest all year long.
It's a system that builds total self-reliance and pretty much eliminates food waste, all without needing to plug into a power grid.
So when you boil it all down, the real Amish secret, it isn't some lost technique or a special tool. It's a mindset. It's about careful observation, it's about patience, and it's about working with nature, not against it. And that leaves us with a question, doesn't it? In our world of instant everything, what could we grow, in our gardens and maybe beyond, if we valued that kind of patience over quick fixes?